TomoNews presents World's Biggest Things.
Holy mother of pearl! Quite a few Asian countries call themselves the Pearl of the Orient, but never has the Philippines deserved the moniker more than now, with the discovery of this huge gem. The monstrous pearl is 67 centimeters long and 30 centimeters wide. It weighs in at a whopping 34 kilograms, and is quite possibly the world's biggest natural giant clam pearl. The title is yet to be official, but the current record holder, the Pearl of Lao Tzu, weighs a puny 6.4 kilos. The Filipino pearl also makes other giant pearls look absolutely minuscule. A lucky fisherman found the monstrous pearl in the waters off Palawan a decade ago, discovering it inside a giant clam that got stuck on his boat's anchor. He had no idea how much it was worth, and just kept it under his bed as a good luck charm. The pearl is reportedly valued at $100 million. If the fisherman had known, he probably wouldn't have turned it over to the city tourism office for safekeeping. Oh well, too late now.
404-carat diamond discovered in Africa worth 14.3 million USD. Australia's Lucapa Diamond Company Limited announced February 15th the discovery of the largest diamond found in Angola, Africa. The 404-carat diamond was discovered by the Lulo Diamond Project, a partnership between Lucapa and Diama, Angola's national diamond company, and a private investor. The area of the mine where the diamond was discovered had already produced 60 large special diamonds, according to Lucapa. The diamond was categorized as a Type 2A stone, meaning it's virtually flawless, and is estimated to be worth 20 million in Australian currency, or 14.3 million USD. It is the 27th largest recorded diamond in the world. The second largest weighed in at 1,111 carats and was found in November 2014 in Botswana. The largest diamond is a whopping 3,106 carat gem called the Colinian. It weighed in at 1.3 pounds and was discovered in South Africa in 1905. That stone was cut into smaller stones, the largest of which adorned the royal scepter, one of Britain's crown jewels. Another was put onto the imperial state crown just below Black Prince's ruby. Both are on display at the Tower of London. But the 404 diamond leaves many questions unanswered. What will come from Angola next? What will become of the 404 carat gem? And, most importantly, does this discovery solve the HTTP era mystery?
The Goliath bird-eater spider is as big as a puppy. The Theraphosa blondi, also known as the South American Goliath bird-eater, is the largest spider in the world. When Harvard entomologist Dr. Pieter Schelte encountered this kind of giant spider last year, he gained headlines the world over. He wrote he could actually hear it walking. He wrote on his blog, "Every time I get too close to the bird-eater, it would start rubbing its hind legs against its hairy abdomen. A cloud of urticating hair hit my eyeballs and made me itch and cry for several days." Similar to nettles, its hairs have little spikes that cause irritation when potential predators come into contact with them. He also said the arachnid would rear its front legs and open its enormous fangs, capable of puncturing a mouse's skull. The third line of defense for the Goliath bird-eater is a loud hissing sound made by rubbing together hairs on its legs. These adorable creatures can tip the scales at 170 grams. That's as much as a small puppy. And they're just as cute, don't you think?
World's biggest ship used to tear down abandoned oil rigs. Behold, arguably, the world's biggest ship. It can remove abandoned oil rigs in mere days, a quantum leap in terms of speed when compared to the existing process, which can take months, or even in some cases, years. The world's largest crane ship, the Pieter Schelte, measures 124 meters in width and 382 meters in length, roughly as long as the Empire State Building is high. The ship is designed to install and remove offshore oil and gas rigs. To remove the top part of an oil rig, the vessel approaches the structure until it stands between its hulls. 8 arms then slide out from the ship's decks and grab the top side of the structure, previously separated from its legs. To remove the rig's jacket, or the legs supporting it, the vessel uses a pair of lifting beams, 540 feet in length. As the attached beams tilt up, The entire jacket is lifted and levered onto the deck. All Seas, the Swiss company that commissioned the Pieter Schelte, says plans to build an even larger ship are in the works.
The world's largest tunnel boring machine bumped into a mystery object under downtown Seattle last Friday, bringing construction of the Highway 99 tunnel to a standstill. Nicknamed Bertha, the machine was brought in from Japan to dig a 2-mile tunnel to replace the Alaskan Way Viaduct. The 5-story high machine was placed about 60 feet below ground. Bertha was stopped last Friday, however, when it ran into an unknown object. The stoppage has given rise to all sorts of speculation, but one leading theory is that the machine had hit a boulder and the soil around it is too soft to hold it firmly. 2 drilling cranes have been set up at the site. But it will take about 2 weeks to identify the obstruction and formulate a strategy to remove it.
Pee your pants on the world's tallest drop ride. Zumanjaro Drop of Doom. The world's tallest drop tower opened at Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson on July 4th. The ride features 3 no-floor gondolas, each carrying 8 riders, who are strapped in and then hoisted into the air for 30 seconds. Until they reach a height of 415 feet, or about 41 stories, taller than the Statue of Liberty. Riders can then enjoy the breathtaking view, but only for a short time until their eye-popping descent begins. The stomach-churning drop sees riders plummet earthward, reaching speeds of up to 90 miles per hour during the 10-second free fall, for a guaranteed knee-weakening experience. The Zumanjaro shares a tower with Great Adventure's other record breaker, the 128 miles per hour Kingda Ka roller coaster.
Chinese ghost town is expanding. How desolate.
Hello! Hello!
But this isn't something for a movie. The city of Changchun, just 20 kilometers from Kunming, tops the charts when it comes to ghost towns. China's official state-run People's Daily newspaper disputes this fact. But our journalist took a tour of the city, and this is what he found. The price of a stay is lower compared to Kunming city proper, but Changchun suffers from a lack of amenities and terrible public transportation. This is totally not what the Chinese government expected 10 years ago. These apartments are close to Yunnan University of Science and Technology. There are 600 units, but only 30% are occupied. Chen moved to the city 2 years ago. He says he did not see anyone else moving in. A lot of stores shut down and were abandoned. Still, construction continues, so the ghost city is expanding. Changchun District Committee Secretary Zhou Fanyu claims that the city only looks like a ghost town at certain times in certain places. But the truth tells a different story.
A luxury life on the open seas. The residents of an opulent cruise ship, dubbed the most exclusive floating city on the planet, are pretty picky about who they will allow to be their neighbors. According to one apartment owner, even billionaire Oprah Winfrey wouldn't be welcome aboard because residents don't want the paparazzi following them around. The World is the largest residential yacht on Earth. The ship is 196 meters long and has 12 decks that contain 165 apartments. It has a golf center, a 650 square meter gym and spa, and is the only ship in the world with a full-size tennis court. Apartments range from $3 million to $10 million US. Residents must have a net worth of at least $10 million, and apartments are sold by invitation only. The ship flies the Bahamas flag. It has traveled 641,000 nautical miles since its launch in 2002, the equivalent of 30 times around the Earth. The World docked in Hong Kong earlier this month and was scheduled to visit Taiwan before crossing the Pacific. 3 times a year, the ship travels to visit some of the most remote regions on Earth. This year, the vessel has already visited the Ross Sea in Antarctica and Melanesia near New Guinea. According to CNN, stepping aboard the World feels like boarding a 21st century Titanic, such as its scale and grandeur. Well, we all know how that worked out, now don't we? If this takes off, launch pads could be a thing of the past. This is the largest plane in the world, but it has yet to take flight, and it's not a passenger plane. So what exactly does it do? The Strato launch plane is comprised of 2 twin fuselages, massive wings, and is carried by 6 Boeing 747 engines. With its 117-meter wingspan, the aircraft is wider than a football field. It's designed to carry spacebound rockets, with a payload of up to 275 tons. The Strato launch commences takeoff with a rocket attached to its belly. With no payload, the plane weighs around 250 tons. With fuel and a fully loaded rocket, the plane can fly with a maximum takeoff weight of 650 tons. For scale, that's around the same weight as a commercial Airbus A380, carrying 550 passengers. The Strato launch is manned by a 3-person crew in the right fuselage, including a pilot, co-pilot, and a flight engineer. The left fuselage cockpit is designed to remain empty and is unpressurized. The rocket is released after the plane reaches 35,000 feet. The rocket then fires its own engine and travels towards its orbit. The plane is designed for air rocket launches in low Earth orbit conditions to become a routine commute. The Strato launch is currently undergoing fuel tests and is expected to make its first launch in 2019.
China forcibly relocates thousands to make way for a giant space telescope. More than 9,000 residents in southwest China are expected to be displaced from their homes before the completion of the world's largest radio telescope later this year. The 500-meter aperture spherical radio telescope, or FAST, cost 1.2 billion yuan and is being built in China's Guizhou province. The telescope has a diameter of 500 meters and is made up of 4,500 triangular panels, 4,350 of which are movable. A retina weighing 30 metric tons is suspended by cables 140 to 160 meters above the center. Once fully operational, the panels will reflect radio signals from distant parts of the universe towards the retina, where they will be collected. 9,110 residents who live within 5 kilometers of the telescope are expected to be relocated, with each receiving 12,000 yuan in compensation. Puerto Rico's Arecibo Observatory, which measures 300 meters in diameter, is currently the largest telescope of its kind. FAST is expected to claim the title upon its completion in September.
The biggest ever wind farm is set to be built off the British coast. The UK government might be gearing up for a so-called hard Brexit, but that doesn't mean it's stopping work with European companies. The world's largest wind farm is said to be built 90 miles off the British coast by Danish energy firm Dong. When completed in 2022, the wind farm will have a capacity of some 1.4 gigawatts. According to Dong, that's enough energy to power some 1.3 million British homes. The project is expected to create 2,000 jobs over its duration.